Illusions. You have to see that the rose, like of course all other sensible objects, exist not only in my mind, but also in the divine mind, as an idea clothed in form, and is therefore independent of my idea of it, to the extent that it will persist if my individual consciousness were withdrawn from it. It is true that the full beauty and wonder of creation will never be realized without an individual mind to reclothe it in living colors. Yet it does not depend for its existence upon that mind. It is even conceivable that divine mind, that sets it forth in space as a vibrant form, may perceive it as we do, not devoid of color, warmth, and sweetness, but rather with a finer beauty and fragrance that we can conceive. And there it stands forth until the mind withdraws the thought. It is thus that we must consider the splendor of a sunset, the majestic volume of the Nile, and the flaming comet. They will still be, even as they must have been before the advent of man. They will still be that mystic magic wonder, mountain and sea, made by the thought of him who sits aloft, who joys in flower and tree. It is therefore a mistake to speak of the common experiences of mankind as illusions, and to say that we live in a world of illusions. It is true that we do not live in a world of matter, using the word matter as meaning that which is independent of consciousness, but the objects by which we find ourselves surrounded are real objects, since they are the thoughts and substance of the ultimate real, or God. To call them an illusion is to say that we suppose ourselves to perceive something when in reality the thing does not exist at all. This is absurd, for if there were no real thing, then there would be nothing to call my attention to it, and the mere fancies of my daydreams will be as real as my perceptions of that which common experience declares to be of more value at last. An imaginary dollar will be as good as coined one. Yet you couldn't buy a pound of sugar with an imaginary dollar. To say that things are illusions is mental suicide, because it makes all experiences unreal, destroys the veracity of the mind, declares that the reason is not dependable, and that the conclusions of the reason cannot be depended upon. Then, whatever the reason declares would also be not dependable, and the proclamation that we live in a world of illusion will be itself an illusion. The doctrine of illusions leads more quickly along the pathway of pure idiocy than anything else of which I happen to know. On the contrary, to say that the thing is thought in form, and as such as reality, is to live in a world peopled with common sense entities, and living, vital, real ideas. Things are thoughts or ideas, and are real, because in essence and nature they are a part of consciousness.